Hello viewers, welcome to Economy Today on TVRC. My name is Kolawole Itunuluwa. Joining me on set is Mr. Akintude Sami Vincent. He's a lead analyst on TVRC and also an educationist. This morning we are going to be discussing on a topic which says petroleum products increments and its implications to Nigerian economy. As we all know, that it is no longer in use, whereby we see so many cars parked in a gas station. People are commenting, people are complaining about the scarcity of fuel. What could be the causes of this, and what is the likely solution? I'm going to be welcoming my guest speaker, Mr. Sami Vincent. You're welcome on set.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very fine.
I want to ask you that why do you think petrol is increasing in the world? The scarcity of petrol, why is it increasing in the world?
Well, as a matter of fact, you know that it's not a country that produces petrol that produces crude oil, and some people produce, and the same crude oil is being transported to another country for refinement. So, but lately something happened in the world. I mean, the war between Russia and Ukraine, and this has led to, like I said, I was actually doing a kind of lay my introduction on the part of states that produces oil. Russia happens to be one of the largest producer of oil. I mean, we have Saudi Arabia, we have Russia, we also have some other countries like that. But Russia produces in volume. But because of what is happening in Ukraine, the war between Russia and Ukraine. So those who are buying from Russia stop buying from Russia, just to for the sake of sanctioning. Russia has been sanctioned, and everybody is boycotting business with Russia. So this is part of, ultimately, one of the major reasons why we have scarcity in oil in the world. So those that are producing for their country, they are being sorted after by the Western country. And don't forget, in the Western world, they are always preparing ahead. In short, we have some country, just to mention in the likes of US, likes of UK, they're not just planning for just few years, they want to plan for a long time, like 50 years, 100 years. They have their reservoirs and they want it to be filled to the pinnacle, just in case. This is a country that they are well organized, and they don't engage in what we call fabric grade approach. So one of the major reason is because the major reason for the fuel hike, in the world, is this conflict between Russia and Ukraine. But that of Nigeria, one of the reasons why we have fuel hike in Nigeria is because, number one, so many people, there's what we call oil bunkering going on, illegal migration of oil to another country. Just because the likes of some country are not getting the oil that they ought to have gotten from Russia, they need to sort after country that are producing oil. Meanwhile, those oil the crude oil that they are producing in that country, for instance, Nigeria, we produce crude oil, but our refineries are not working. We transport the crude oil to another country, and the refined one is being sent to us. Even the refined one that we are managing is not even enough. But not some oligarchs, some political element, they believe this is the opportunity to make money, to make billions of dollars and everything. So they embrace, they change the destiny of this country for the bread, for their own personal interests. So that's one of the major reasons. But ultimately, the marketers saying, no, this is, outside the complexity. Let's come to the ordinary. The ordinary is that the marketers are saying that at the moment, that the cost of transportation is on the high side. So to move this petroleum product from where it's from the depot to diversified locations is becoming very expensive. That's the reason, and they believe that the price, the 165 naira that is being the amount is being pegged to, is no longer sustainable. and now they are vying for increment. So I think these are the problem between the major reason why for the increment, I mean, as regards the world generally and Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Akintunde Vincent. Okay, still on the issue on this scarcity of petrol. So I want to ask you, let's talk about the transportation system. Look at what is happening. People are commenting about, they are really commenting about transportation fee, it's getting out of hand, it's getting unbearable. What can you say about that?
Well, it is what you buy that you sell. You cannot sell what you haven't bought. It is what you have, it is the amount you put into the business that you leverage on, that you worked on. If the marketers are complaining, and now they've increased the amount at which petrol is being given to all this, the local stations, what do you think will happen? They will definitely inflate their prices. And this is what is actually happening now. Was it a few days ago, a liter was sold for 220 naira. It's just yesterday that some are selling for 200 and some for 190. So this has been the trajectory.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Vincent. Okay, as we all know that the lack of this petrol has led to increase in a lack of cost of distribution of goods and services. That is, food cannot be distributed as they used to be before. Even people it's becoming unbearable for them to feed. People are complaining about food that is now scarce in so many aspects. What can you say about this?
Well, when there is what we call when fuels are not in circulation, what do you expect? So many buses will be in comatose. I mean, they will be grounded. The few ones that want to go about their businesses as regards transportation, will definitely increase the price of transportation. And if that is the case, those who are selling, you cannot pay a huge amount of money to transport your goods and services to the urban, from rural to urban area, without also increasing the price of that commodity. So what do you see happening? Inflation. Inflation will be the order of the day. The goods that you buy, I mean, that you get for, for 200 naira before, don't be surprised, you see it becoming like 300, 500 naira, 400, 500. So that's what happens when something like this, inflation will be the order of the day.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's talk about the black market. We've been hearing black market of a thing, black market here and there. So what's your intake on the black market?
Yeah, my intake on black market is that, it's good we understand one thing in this country. That when you have a leadership crisis, when you say leaders who have failed their country, this is what you say. There's nothing wrong in the what's it called? In the kind of a little bit of changes that happened in any sector. But there should be what we call price control policy. And this could only be done by economic experts. They sit around the table and they discuss it. And they communicate it to the appropriate channels, proper communication. You can't just wake up tomorrow and you say something as there will be an increment somewhere. Have you informed the general populace? If you haven't done that, you're only saying it is you and your head. We don't have any problem with you. If it has increased, it has increased. You have to go and sort it out yourself. There's nothing like price control policy. And funny enough, the moment a kind of change happens in this country, there will be a kind of and a kind of opportunity to revisit anymore. You just see it like that, keeps skyrocketing. It's always in an exponential. Nothing has ever come. It is always up.
That's true.
From you check the transportation at a point in time where you used to take a particular from a junction to another junction. You check, it will never come back to that same amount anymore. It will just keep going up like that, skyrocket. So the black market of the thing is because of leadership failure. How on earth you've not made no provisions for the citizens, and you've not done anything to to engage them, then people are in the street selling black markets because they will definitely survive. So if they are going to survive, they just adopt any means to survive. And don't forget, recently, let me take a case study of Oyo State, Ibadan to be precise. There's a kind of inferno recently that the whole market got burnt. Market got burnt because of this issue of black market.
Sure.
When you go to the street now, you see people selling 5 liters, 10 liters, 4,500, 5,000 naira for 5 liters, 4 liters, These are still part of the ripple effect. So what I'm saying in essence is, black market or no black market, it boils down to leadership failure. If there's going to be an increment, why not do it? There should be a kind of a cushion. You should cushion the citizens shouldn't have even have the feelings. If there's a kind of increment in a particular commodity or particular sector, all you need to do is to look at how to cushion that effect. If it's going to be to distribute palliatives, if it's about increasing their salary by a little, so all this will definitely cushion the effect of what's it called, of this issue of a black market. If not, it's more or less like this black market is what leads what we call jungle way of life, jungle way of living. Before you know it, people will they won't be able to curb it anymore. It's still black market. People are selling, for crying out loud, these products are highly combustible.
Sure, that is it.
At the drop of stone can ignite a fire, and this petroleum, they are not properly kept, could set the state or even set a particular district ablaze. So why should we risk our life for just lack of leadership? So in my opinion, black market or no black market, well, it's in the streets, and the boys, those who are engaging in it, they are doing it for survival. They see it as a kind of opportunity, and that's what you see. Opportunity when some people fail in one particular sector, some will take advantage of that situation, and they will use it to their own selfish interest.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Akintunde Vincent. I'm so impressed. Okay, still on the issue of this, you said something on leadership failure, on the issue of those black markets. I want you to, what are your advice for our leaders on this issue? We know our leaders are really trying their best. They are trying their best. They are doing good. But what do you think they can actually do in order to eradicate this problem?
Okay. Now, the solution, in my opinion, I think I'll keep saying this for the often time, that leaders should get serious when it comes to the business of governance. To govern is not in the theory, it's not in the abstract. It has to be this with the reality on ground. You can't just soup up nothing. You can't just think in the abstract. No, come, let's talk about the reality. And this issue of fuel hike, it's all about people have to take away interest. You have to look at the common masses. We talk about minimum wage. How many states have paid minimum wage? How many states have paid minimum wage? So when they are being paid peanuts, and they are they have families, they want to represent their families, and they want within their smaller enclave. But their take home cannot even take them near home. That's where when it comes to, don't forget now, even to cook at home, it requires some modicum of gases here and there. Some uses kerosene. These are all petroleum products. So just to feed becomes very difficult. When they spend all their money, all the money their salary on just to get something to feed themselves. Then what about the same man would want to transport himself to his place of work? Then tell me, what would be is that life? Do you think the man will be impressed the man will be proud to be a Nigerian? It's not as if they are not working, they are working. But the point is, but the solution is that number one, the government should be serious.
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 Wow.
They have to. And again, number two is there should be a price control policy. It's not all about just people are doing what they like. And there's even what we call hoarding. Go to some gas stations. You notice that it's not as if the fuel is not there. The fuel is there, but they just chose to hoard it for themselves, for their families. It's not news. I mean, and when you visit those areas, the gate is shut, and when they see their family members, coming, they will open the gate and they will give fuel to that family member. Interest. And again, the security operatives. It's not all about just saying that people should not hoard. What about the task force? What are they doing?
Wow.
They should set them loose on these petroleum marketers. Set them loose. Anybody that misbehave, close down the fuel station.
This is it.
So, solution number one: leadership. The leadership should be proactive. They should be proactive. They should give a proactive measure. They should approach it with a proactive. They're not for being too passive. This nonchalant attitude, I don't care attitude of the government should stop. So, like I said, the government should get serious in the business of governance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vincent. I believe you're enjoying the program. So, Mr. Vincent, lastly, before we round up the program, I was thinking about something of recent when the scarcity of fuel started initially. I was thinking about, equipment not distributed to various places like hospitals and even schools. For example, there are some equipment that's supposed to be, that's supposed to be distributed in so many hospitals and even schools, but they are not distributed there because of scarcity of fuel. Even you see a particular patient, they actually wanted to rush a patient to another hospital. Now, because of fuel, the patient might eventually lost his or her life because of petrol.
Just to in addendum, even banks that used to close by 4, just because of we are talking about PMS. We should even talk about diesels. I mean,
yes.
even transporting all these trailers, all these trucks that move the petroleum product, they make use of diesels.
Sure.
And the commencement of this started from diesel.
Sure.
Banks that used to close by 4:30 before, they stopped. I mean, they had to move it backward to 3 o'clock.
Sure, they did.
So these are the, like you rightly said about education, hospitals.
Yeah.
These are the backdrop, the backlash of this fuel and like I said, I'll keep saying for the upting time, everything still boils down. The box is at the table of the government. They need to get serious as regards the governance. We have the NNPP, who gives the leadership. Who are those that elect the leadership of the NNPC? It's from the presidency. The presidency will be the director of NNPC. And what is this? The government, not just the president alone, everybody in that sector, they must get serious. They should not change the destiny of this country for just peanuts. Just because people are not buying from Russia anymore. You don't believe the little one that we are managing. We want to start, because people are not seeing it from that perspective. That some are really taking advantage of this Russia-Ukraine crisis, thereby sending our refined crude PMS, even our crude oil. They are sending them illegally. They are migrating them illegally to another country, just to increase their own pockets and their own purses. This should stop. That's why I said the government must get serious in the business of governance.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kingsley Vincent. I really appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
God bless you. Okay, my viewers at home, I hope you enjoyed the program. And I believe you actually know what you're talking about. You enjoyed the program. So thank you very much. I still remain your presenter, Kolawole Itumuluwa. See you next time.